Greetings, our wonderful community.
Peace, love, and light.
Again, we have our queen here, and then we have our young man over here. Mr. Wade is filling in as always. You know, we always have someone that's definitely on hand to be a part of our effort to really engage in the community. We're going to start off with something a little lighthearted. I don't know if you guys realize that back in the day, see, I am a princeologist. So I need to show you guys. I just got this. They just shipped it to me. Why is this important, brother?
Why is it? Because Prince is the.
Okay, so since you asked me why this is important,
why, Brother Robert?
Let me just show you.
Let's go. I'm ready because
on page 679. My sister, I want you to read what name is right there on page 679.
I would love to. Okay.
Just read right there. I just want you to read right there. What name do you see right there?
Oh, my goodness. It says Hubert Robert. Wait. Let me tell you what.
Holla at you.
Acknowledgement.
Y'all hear that?
And then Hubert, not even Robert. I was excited.
And look.
Okay, let me look.
And then on top of that,
oh goodness. Okay.
It comes with.
Let me see.
Bam.
Let me see.
What is that? Oh, shook it.
Certificate of authenticity.
Holla at you. Now look.
Exclusive early release copy of Prince in the Parade and Sign of the Times Era studio sessions 1985 and 1986.
Now look, back in the day, back in 1981, I joined on because a lot of people had some issues with Prince because, he would wear bikini underwear and all those kind of things, right?
Listen, I love Prince.
And I was into
whole heart and soul.
And I was into that, right? So I had I'm securing my masculinity, right?
So wait, hold on. Before you go any further, so you mean to tell me it might be a couple little pics out here in your speedo?
Might be.
Don't shoot! I'm looking for it.
So back in the day, what they formed a fan club called Purple People. Okay, back in the day, right? And so
I want to be part of the Purple People.
Unbeknownst
Damn
to
the
me,
beehive. I need to be part of
this is back in the day, right? So they've had several iterations as far as they have the NPG Club and several other different Prince fan clubs. But they went all the way back to the original, right? And we part of the original. And they contacted based on the information they had in Prince's archives, right? Because at one time, Prince was so interesting that people was treating him like a hot potato. But I fully embraced him, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of these people in the book fully embraced, right?
As we should have.
Unabashedly.
Because he is the king.
Okay, then. So I thought I just wanted to show that off a little bit to our community because, again, when you think about, greatness and being around greatness, this is what we bring into our community.
Wait, so when can I order this book?
We all are great. I will give you some more of that information.
And
then show my sister.
I appreciate that. Okay,
so
let me give you this because I'll be all in it.
Just want to again, make sure you guys feast on that. This is a little commercial.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to be in a Purple People group.
Now, again, before the show got started, again, I'm going to turn it over to my sister. She's going to share a little bit about some concerns dealing with, we have a few topics that we're going to get into today. And again, what we're working to do is empower, enlighten, and really get some action behind talk. So many people talk, and do nothing. So my sister, you were saying earlier about the city council, and I would like for you to express what you said, because you said it with such passion, with such articulate, being very articulate about it, and I think our community should be a part of it.
Thank you. So the city council is just shameful. I am disappointed and appalled at everything that's going on with the current city council and with the majority of the people that are actually running for city council. So us as the city of Flint, we see this and we are seeing you all and we're looking at you all, and what you are giving us is what we have to go by in order to make our votes or to even consider you as a vote or disqualify you as a vote, right? So with the mess that's going on with the current city council, we don't need more mess coming in. And you all are messy, just messy and shameful. I wouldn't vote for any of you. It's ridiculous. We have so much gas going on the current city council. Now we having more gas coming in. And then I just feel like if you are making most of your time bashing another city council member or this and that, you're not having time to do the work that you need to do in order to get in the place to make it better. Listen, I call things as I see them. They tell me I'm the hard ass of the show, and I feel like that we should be that, and everybody in the city should be that, and you should be calling these people out. I don't know who Lou Mason is. I haven't seen him, don't know who he is, but I don't hear very good things, and when I see it, I'm just like, what? Why is that consuming your time? Why are you letting all these things rent space in your mind? If Eric, listen, here's how I feel about Eric Mays. If he is that bad and he is pissing y'all off that much, he must be doing something right.
I think so.
He has to be doing something right because he's the topic of everybody's conversation. Tanya Rising, when you came on the show, I asked you specifically,
flat out,
what you gonna do? You gassed me, and I kept at you and kept at you and kept at you. I'm still waiting. Now, when I see all your posts and everything else, it's constantly a post about Eric Mays. Eric Mays this. However, when you came on the show, you told me, you said, I'm not talking about him, not bashing anybody, but that's your platform. How is that a thing? I can't vote for you like that. I can't even tell somebody to vote for you because I don't know what you're about. I don't know what you stand for. All I see is that. If that's all I see, I can't give you anything. I want to be able to boast you, to say, hey, that lady got it. I can't. I want to do that with everybody, but I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that with Quincy Murphy. I don't know you. I don't see anything. I don't see you anywhere. None of that. Y'all want us to do all of this voting and going out and supporting you and writing you in and do all of that. What's going on? Hey, all of y'all that I'm calling out, even the ones that I don't know, come see me. Come talk to me. Let's do it right here. Let's hash it out because I need to know. I am so glad. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I love Flint. I am an advocate of Flint. Y'all know that. I'm out here. I am an advocate of Flint. I've never lived in the city limits, ever. However, I love the city. I love my city. I have family in the city. 752 East Baltimore. I spent half my life there. That's where my grandparents live. In the city. But I personally didn't live in the city. Now, my address is still personally not in the city. And I thank God, because I wouldn't vote for none of you suckers. It's a mess. It's a mess. We have to do better. We have all of this violence going on and everything else going on. And all y'all want to do is bash each other. Give me a break. I'll flip all this shit over. It's stupid. It's so stupid.
And it's amazing that you said that because for our community and our listening audience, something that really touched me what she just said. She said, I've really never lived in the city, but this young lady, the little time that I've met her and known her, have worked diligently with her time and her money to make a difference. And again, that says even a tremendous volume of what she is doing, actually living and doing, as opposed to these candidates and those that are sitting on the council right now. Because it's about, when she said again about Miss Rising was here, and we challenged her to do something. And then she came up with this thing that she's going to do, and we've never heard anything about what she said she was going to form in the next time, I think it was the next 30 days, she was going to put this together. And she talked about helping to assist her with it. And she hasn't got back with us and engaged in moving even that conversation or that action forward. You find back to gaslighting. And so I just commend you and all of us have to start speaking truth to power, because we got to realize the people that control the past, if we allow them to control the present, that's what's happening now, because change, most people do not want to change. I don't care if you're on welfare, I don't care if a millionaire on welfare, being mentally or culturally conditioned. If you've been culturally conditioned to believe that you're supposed to go in the back of the door, you was doing it in the past, you're going to do it today. And so that's what we're dealing with. And so change can be painful. Change can be debilitating.
Right.
And as much as people talk about Mr. Mays. I have seen Mr. Mays in action.
Yeah.
Where other people have called him from their ward, not even his ward, but something that was going on in another ward, and he worked to address it.
Speaking of that, I don't live in the city. I've never lived in the city. My whole entire life, I've never lived in the city, right? But again, I do love the city. I have called Eric Mays about something, and he has never not answered my phone call or returned a phone call.
Look at that.
I have seen a lot of other people do that as well. I'm not saying, here's the thing. I'm not saying all of the candidates are bad or they're gassing or anything. I'm not saying that. But the few that I've had encounters with, there are some that are full of gas, and there are some that are not. And there's some that are doing their work diligently to get where they need to go and do all the things that they need to do for the city and have been doing it. However, there are just way too many that are not. And it's just, I just feel like we just need to be calling these things as we see them, right? So someone says here that call out all the bashers, name all the bashers. Listen, let me tell you something. I would. Confrontation is not a thing that I've ever been afraid of. And calling a spade or a duck has never been one of them either.
Mm-hmm.
I am very outspoken, and I'm gonna call it as I see it, and I will say it to whomever, whenever. That is something I've never been afraid of. I just don't know all of them because I don't follow it like that. I don't follow it like that because I don't like mess, right? So I don't want to see that all the time. And I don't want to see that mess. It's mess and it's messy. And I just feel like if you're going to talk about it, then you need to be about it. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm out here.
That's right.
I'm doing it. I'm giving it. I'm spending all my time. I have to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. I leave my house at 4:30 in the morning because I don't work here in the city. But I am up. I am up at 3:30 every morning, and I don't leave here until 10, 11 o'clock every single night. I'm doing that, but that's my own free time and my own thing that I'm doing to do things for the city. Block clubs, block parties, all of these other things that we're doing, Juneteenth and all of that. Listen, that's me. That's me doing that. But I don't need a trophy. I don't need anybody to do a cartwheel for me or anything like that. And I've never been on here boasting it. You'll never see me posting about all of these things I'm doing because I don't need the accolades and I don't need all of that. What I need is for my city to be great. That's what I need. And that's why what I'm working towards. And I'm doing my part, my little part that I can do in order to do that.
And I think that's what's important. Mr. Wade, I'd like for you to jump out. Yeah, Anthony, I'd like for you to jump in a little bit on that. Just what she was saying and then kind of expand it out a little bit based on your perspective. And again, keep it, again, somewhat, we want to make sure that we are being responsible, right? Because the thing that she's really alluding to is our city can be a fantastic city. It takes proper leadership. So if we all are faking, and we've seen mess on top of mess, because to me, a lot of times it's just entertainment. It seems like it's almost like they are auditioning for some type of Dave Chappelle sitcom or something, because when you think about moving policy, when it comes to running a city, you have to have collective work.
Right.
Everybody is not going to agree on everything,
Right.
But that's why we compromise. You get a little bit, you get a little bit, I get a little bit,
Right.
And then who is most important is the constituents.
Yes.
It shouldn't be about me.
Right.
It shouldn't be about me padding or doing something going on my next level when I'm going up to the state level.
Right.
I'm moving my way up through the system, right? Because right now, y'all think about it.
Or the photo ops.
Yeah, you have senators and congressmen that make over $180,000 a year. Right. And when you think about that, then they have a budget of almost $1 million where they can play with. And then they get all kind of perks because that's why they spend so much time holding on to that job. Because they get free health care. They got the best health care for their children. Right. And you think about it, y'all, a senator or congress person can pass away and their spouse can take over that seat. Haven't been to no school, it can come right in and take over that seat, y'all.
No, nothing.
And then, until next vote come up, you know, and then they can be voted out or voted back in. So my question to you, Brother Anthony, again, you heard what she said and the passion that she said. From your perspective, again, I was saying that, you know, you were filling in, and now we want you to speak.
Okay, yes, sir. I have no problem with that. Thank you for having me on today.
Thank you for being
I
here.
appreciate you being here.
One of the things that you said spoke out, culture condition. So when we talk about how the politics is ran and how it's governed today, like you said, it's like a sideshow or something, because people, they get drunk with power, they misuse their authority, and they, you know, their position, like you said, you know, the position that they have is for the community, to be responsible for the community. But things have changed for the worse, as we can see right now, but it can be changed by the power of the people.
Okay.
Because we have to go back to the basis of, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, what they said they're going to do,
Okay.
then the people can, like you said, like she said, we can vote them out, write them out, or don't vote for them at all.
Okay.
The power still remains in the people.
Okay.
You know, although they are in that position where they're supposed to be delegating their affairs for the community,
Right.
and they're not. But one of the key things that I got from, as she was speaking,
Okay.
energy. Like
Energy.
she said, you know, she gets up, she sacrifices
Right.
her time, her
Right.
energy,
Okay.
you know, and that's something we all need to do collectively. Everybody has to do their part.
Okay.
Sacrifices are required for all of us
Okay.
to be better
Okay.
and for our city to be great, as she said.
Okay.
You know, Flint is a great city
Absolutely.
because this was the mecca of the automobile industry.
Exactly.
This was one of the most prominent cities
In the
you know,
world. In the world.
And a lot of the historical infrastructure is still here, like, you know, from when GM closed and the shops closed.
Yes, sir.
This can still be a prominent blue collar,
Absolutely.
productive, you know, prosperity city. So we can get back to our greatness if we all, like you said, do our part and hold our leadership accountable.
And I love what you said about, you know, the energy piece and also about collective works because, okay, so be that you both have stated some of the outline and the conditions, and we talk a little bit about solutions. Now, how do we turn the energy, and like you get up at 3:30. So you get up at 3:30, although you're getting a check, but you still are focusing on, and your mindset said, after work, I'm committed to supporting Black Lives Matter and working to move my community. And even though I don't live in the proper, but I am connected to the people and energy of this community. And I want this community to be great.
Absolutely.
And I'm not asking nobody for permission, but in your heart, in your mind. So my question to both of you guys, if you have that energy or that spark, how can we help spark those that don't seem to want any spark, that don't seem to care, that really have tapped out? So let's be real. When we say be real, our job is to work to engage our community to get off their butt. Because as you said, it's the people. If the people will rise up, so the people in our community to some degree are drunk on brokenness, hopelessness, dysfunctionalism, and the list I can use a lot of adjectives to say people have almost given up. So that means you can have a few that could decide for the many.
Right.
And they sitting back, as she just said so elegantly, they're sitting back in their little chiefdom laughing and giggling because they're like roaches. They're eating themselves. So my question, I said all that to say, how can we spark the listening audience where someone else will spark another person to get up and do what they can right where they are? So start with you, Queen.
You know what, I've been thinking about that and I spin my wheels about that a lot. However, I know that we are competitive people, right? And, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's just I don't want nobody to outdo me, right? Don't let me outdo you. Don't let me, the little girl that don't even live in Flint, outdo you. I'm getting up at 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to work and then I'm coming and I'm still getting to it for the city. Don't let me outdo you, right? So if you're that competitive, don't let me outdo you. However, I just believe that a lot of these things should spark you just because it's your city and it's what's going around you, is going on around you, is next door to you, it's across the street, and sometime in your own yard. Why hasn't the water crisis sparked you?
Oh,
Why hasn't that sparked you? That should be enough to light 10,000 fires under your ass.
right.
I should not have to come on here and say that. That should not, what I'm saying should not energize you. What I'm saying should be putting gasoline on your fire already. Because why hasn't that sparked you?
That's good.
That should be all the spark you need. All them years ago when that happened, when that first started going down, that should have been a spark. Your fire should not be out. Your fire should be greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. And everything that I say and everything that I do should just be gasoline poured on your fire.
That's good. That's good. How about you, Brother Anthony?
Yeah, I agreed with everything Queen just said. Going back to something that you said, I like to take notes too, because I catch you say a lot of good things that I don't want to let get by me. But truth to power, as far as lifting up the people, sparking the people. Basically, what we're doing right now is we're speaking the truth, enlightening the people, educating the people that you have the power to change. And another thing you said, Dr. Robinson, was the pain of change. So I broke down as far as the benefits of change. We have to educate the people about the benefits of change.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Because everybody goes through what we go through, as far as the ups and downs of life. That's life. But each day, you can always turn things around.
And it's amazing that because you hit something. Because so often, why do you think it's in us, and listening audience, what's going on with us to seem to want to just wallow in pain? Why do we want to just continue to accept pain? It seems like pain become our friend, or misery become our friend. We can't, and when he said the benefits of change, that's a profound statement. When you said the benefits of change, I don't think we can contemplate that. Because so often we live in a city where we don't see, even when you're downtown, guys, it's not a reflection of people of color.
Correct.
So you don't see the benefit of real change reflected or mirrored to you. So you become disjointed or disassociated from it. But when you said benefit of change, man, I like that. That's a t-shirt.
If we're not changing, if we're not evolving, we're not growing.
Oh.
So whether we like change or we don't, or we don't, if we're not growing. You have to forever evolve. You have to forever change, because we're not growing if we don't.
And when you say that,
we'll be stagnant.
And so you can honestly say, have city council grown?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's a powerful statement.
We're stagnant.
Yeah.
That's the problem, because we're not evolving. We're not changing. We're stagnant. That's a problem. We're not ever going to evolve. We're never going to grow. Our city is never going to be great if we continue to keep this mess in place. Mess just bring on more mess and more mess and more mess. It's like a landfill. That's what it's there for, right? That's where all the mess goes. So you go dump more mess on it. So city council is our landfill, and we just dumping more mess on it.
Do you both of you guys, do you have any idea about the powers from the county that is loving the mess?
Yes. They're enjoying it. They're sitting back and they're watching it. They're enjoying it. And that is another reason why I say what I say to these the current council people and the ones that are trying to get in. That's why I say that, because that's all they're doing. They're sitting back and they're laughing and they're benefiting from it. And that's what you want.
The sad part when you think about the long game, and we so get caught up on the short game, but their long game is to dissolve the city council dissolve the mayor's position,
Mhm.
where they really, the white county will be running everything. And if you think, because when you go out in the county and look at what's happening in Clio and Flushing and Goodrich and those Davidson, you look at how their infrastructure, meaning how well their streets are being paved,
Mhm.
and the businesses that are in those areas, as opposed to in the city of Flint,
Mhm.
that's not by accident. That's collective work.
Yeah.
That's where people are not bickering. They are figuring out a situation where they are matching dollars from the federal government. They got money and they're making it in there, like you said, they're pushing their agenda
Mhm.
and they're pushing their livelihood and they are making jobs and businesses where they are generating and able to buy their mobile homes and their planes.
So who do we blame for that?
But-
If it's just city council, don't it take some complicit from the mayor and city council?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Yes,
So
sir.
then who was the cause? So I'm just asking, who causing the confusion?
I think the mayor, when you think about the mayor's office, if you don't have a strong mayor that's gonna stand up to, especially to special interests, this is part of what you have today. because-
Especially especially if they are for the city being colonized and gentrified.
Yes,
And that is another problem, is that we don't do our research and we don't go back and
Yes.
we look at you look at it and you think that it'll be a good idea, and you look at the pretty pictures that they put up, about a Whole Foods here and a this there and a that there and all of this pretty stuff, and you look at it, but you don't know the reason why. You don't really know the reason for real why they want to colonize us and gentrify our neighborhoods.
come on.
We don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want any of that in my neighborhood.
Well, that's the reason
I
was
want a
asking.
mom and pop right there. I want you to be able to own the store right there, and I go and support you.
But that's the reason I asked, was the mayor complicit with it?
He's complicit, because when you think about it, there's not really one black-owned business downtown Flint. And we're gonna get to the cannabis. They were allowed, several people that doesn't look like us, got multiple license to open up and distribute cannabis in Genesee County.
Mhm.
And people of color were denied, did not have the opportunity. And that was not by accident. They want to say, in my research, they want to say that it was open to everyone.
But it wasn't really, because
It wasn't.
those folks had the inside track from the beginning.
Thank you. And even people from other countries, I'm talking about Chaldeans and
Absolutely.
Syrians.
They had the inside track from the beginning. And now we're seeing
Chaldeans.
more and more of them coming over here, and boom, all of a sudden they got a
Should the
marijuana
mayor
business.
step up?
The mayor, off the top,
Step
the
up and
mayor,
step out.
what should have happened, the mayor and the city council
Right.
should have never allowed those things to take place without at least 50-50. 50% of people of color should have had access to those licenses.
Absolutely.
Off the top, like Mary Coleman Young used to do. You weren't gonna do no business in Detroit without 50% was going to people of color. You weren't gonna do no 20, 80 or none of that. It's gonna be 50-50. Because when you think about it, we're gonna get to this too. How do you build black businesses unless they are allowed to participate in the business of making business?
Right.
And just when you think about the system has been shutting us out from day one. So if we got a mayor and the mayor looks like us, a lot of times they want to say, and even going after grants, they want to say, if your grant is not connected to white people, then we're not going to give you a grant.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
when black people need all the help they can, but they're saying, we're not going to support you unless it's connected to white people.
Absolutely.
When white people got all the help they need, we the one need some help. And when you talking real, this is what MOD does, this is what Community Foundation does. Their platform is you got a partnership with white or the CRIM. You got to engage with white spaces to be able to get this money, or even a lot of our own churches. We got a few churches saying that you ain't gonna get nothing done unless you connect with white people.
Mhm.
But we got a black problem. And what we're saying, if we had white allies and they saw us as whole human beings, even in the mayor's position would be enlightened because of state rep. So if you got the mayor and the state rep and everybody's working, you got Gresham and them, the governor come in secretly and hiding around, and you got the attorney general come down and they peeking out the window and hiding behind bushes. What is that about? When there are some real systems in place that needs to be addressed, as she said earlier, there are some things that really need to address. And we keep pretending, and our city is dying each and every day.
Why aren't we protesting these new businesses that's coming into our neighborhoods? Why are we letting these Indians and Chaldeans and everybody come in and
Yes.
set up shop? This is the thing. You can be an Asian, you can be an Arab, and you can come in and you can get a store and you can set it up right in the hood. No problem, right?
No
You
problem.
can have your cleaners, you can have you a corner store or even a gas station or whatever with no issues. And then in 4 or 5 years, you can bring your brother over and let him take over and never pay no taxes. In a few years, you can bring your sister over and they can never pay any taxes. We live right here. We built this whole entire shit ass country and we can't even get a store. We can't even get a building. We can't get him anything, nothing. And then we have somebody in place that in a place of power that can allow us to do that looks like us and they still doing like this to us. That's a problem for me. So I'm the only one that feel like this. I want a building. It's some things that I want to do as well. But I should not have to work 17 times as hard as the Asian guy or the Arab guy just to get it. Because they can come over here and not do nothing. They can't even talk to us for real because we don't even speak their language.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's some right now that I refuse to patronize.
Me too.
The gas station that is a BP right on the corner of Coldwater and Clio Road.
That's right.
I'll burn that son of a. I will burn it down.
I'm with you.
They don't respect no black people and they don't respect the black dollar. And so I do not. Let me tell you something. I will run out of gas and walk.
I'm with you on
To
that.
go and get some gas to put in my truck before I ever patronize them. That's the energy we need to be having. But don't nobody have that energy, right? That's crazy.
I love what she said because that's what we need to be doing. And we need to call out, the so-called Club Sunoco on Ballinger and Flushing. That's another place that should be boycotted. The one that's on Court Street should be boycotted. The one that's down on University Drive and Grand Traverse.
Oh, can we talk about that one?
Need to be, again, shut down.
Why are we still patronizing that one when he shot, when the man shot? Hey, that's my guy. I've been knowing him for a long time. Shot him through a locked door.
A locked door.
This man almost lost his leg, and we still gonna go up there and buy our swishers. We still gonna go up there and buy our cigarettes. We still gonna go in there and we gonna buy. Damn them.
That's why they don't respect.
Burn that bitch down. Why are we still going in it?
That's the exact reason why we're not respected. We're not respected by other ethnic groups, and we're truly not respected by, if you want to call them Americans or Europeans.
Absolutely not.
European descent, because again, it's been baked in for 500 years into this, and it's been exported again throughout the world. So we're going to transition into talk a little bit. We touched on a little bit about local power. The cannabis, we did touch on that, and again, that is another area where it's sad as far as how we are being shut out.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there has to be a radical change in that. There has to, some radicalness have to take place, and it has to come from, people with means. When you talk about the Jay-Z's or Michael Jordan or these people with income across the country, they can do some tremendous things in local communities. I want to mention a little bit about, since George Floyd was murdered, it's been underreported, but there's been a tremendous uptick in police shootings and killing of Black and brown people that's not being discussed. And also COVID-19 has taken out a number of police officers around the country, and that too has not been reported, meaning police officers are refusing to get vaccinated and they're dying. And again, so often, this whole thing about vaccination and this thing about I have a personal right, when if you get caught without a seatbelt, you can get a $150 ticket, right? So you're supposed to have a seatbelt on, right? And all of us at one time when we were little, they didn't ask our parents or nobody. All of us got a TB shot, measles shot, all that when we were little. Everybody got that little mark on their arm. All of us do. And they didn't ask for permission. So again, when we think about this vaccine thing and all our people are up in arms religiously, are saying you got a right, so you have a right to spread a communicable disease because you're refusing to get a vaccinated or you're refusing to wear a mask. So what do y'all think about that? Just tapping into that a little bit.
Well, I wear a mask personally. As for the vaccine, not so much. What bothers me about it is that how hard they're pushing it and how fast it happened and how hard they're pushing it. It would probably register in my mind a little bit differently if they're not giving out $1 million raffle just for taking it, or $50,000 a day for taking it. And if you're 12 years or older, giving you a scholarship to take it. For me, that is just giving me bad vibes. And they're pushing it and they're pushing it and they're pushing it and they're pushing it and they're pushing it. So, I mean, like literally shoving it down our throat so hard, that makes me afraid. Because because they don't push that. They don't push newborn vaccines as hard as they do this.
Okay.
It's so many other vaccines that they're pushing. They don't even push that as hard. They don't push condom use as hard as they push this. To keep the spread of HIV down. They don't even push that as hard as they're pushing it. That makes me afraid because that makes me think that it gives me that the Tuskegee experiment vibe.
Because have y'all seen the commercials?
Yes.
They had the drug dealer commercial.
Yes.
That's like an insult. And then it had to be a black guy that was the drug dealer.
Totally unacceptable.
And that makes me nervous.
Totally unacceptable. But it goes back to brainwashing and like I was telling the brother about being culturally conditioned to be a buffoon. They can get us to sing and dance and belittle ourselves by shaking some dollars like at the strip club. We do anything for these little green paper that has all these white devils on them, right? And again, that's our behavior. But getting back to the sister now, I push back on what she's saying because especially with the Tuskegee, if you know the history of that, actually they had the cure.
They did.
And didn't give it to them. So that's a big difference when they had the cure, but they wanted to see how these men would die and their offspring would die from syphilis. That's insidious. That's evil in itself. But
I'm not so sure that they don't have a cure for this.
So they had the cure, but they chose not to give it to them. So that's one difference about that. But one thing that most people don't realize, in 1918, they called it the swine flu. But anyway, it was a pandemic. For 3 years. They killed over 100 million people around the world. And what happened is what's happening again today about misinformation. And I had the vaccine and I continue to wear a mask. I'm dealing with a brain tumor, be that as it may. But one thing about science, all of us remember to any degree dealing with measles and chicken pox, whooping cough, polio, the list can go on and on and on, TB and all those kind of things, these pathogens that has affected mankind throughout the ages. And I do believe that science, in my opinion, on this situation, I think the science is solid. I do believe it become more political. They politicize it, right, to make it more than what it is. I think when you said about the giving people incentives because it is so dangerous, because a lot of times, guys, you think about it, use it to acknowledge it. I want to give you an analysis like this. January the 6th, most of you guys saw that, what happened. Most of the country feel that was a tourist excursion.
You say most of the country?
Yeah, most of the country feel that it wasn't as serious as we make it out to be, that because you saw what you saw was not real. I'm using that as an example, and I know it may be stark, because we saw the reality, but I'm using that in the same vein for the vaccine, because again, when you can manipulate the truth, when you have the power to say that You know this is a book. So since you know this is a book, but since I got the power to control your life, I can kill you at any moment. I tell you, it's a grape. You gonna say this is a grape, and you'll die saying this is a grape because you have the power to cut my lights off, to cut my mortgage off, to do a number of things because I'm materialistic. I live in a capitalist society. So my concept of success is based on what I possess. So if you take my job away, take my house away, take everything away from me, who am I really? So again, the mindset is what we're dealing with is some insidious behavior that has been perpetrated on us by some groups of people in this country based on white supremacy. Because again, when you can, it's always the real thing, guys, fear. Fear is powerful, man.
Mhm.
Fear
Very much
is so powerful, man.
Very much.
And
so.
if you tap into that just a little bit and you put a little nutmeg on it, put some cha-cha on it, you know what I mean? And shake it up, right? And put some dust on it. What it can do to masses of people is what we're dealing with.
Well, answer this question for me right here, because you're saying it's the white supremacy, right?
Mhm.
When you can't fathom the things that they would do, how can you trust the people? Like you said, they had the cure. They have been lying about this. Well, I ain't gonna say the word, but when the candy came, when it came.
Right.
They have lied so much. If you get vax, you ain't gotta wear the mask. Now to come back out, you gotta wear the mask. Then first of all, they pushing this through without, you know how long it take to get FDA approval for certain medicine?
Yeah.
When the measles and all that stuff you said, them different medicines we took as kids, they wouldn't approve overnight. They wouldn't
No.
approve in no year.
No.
Then when you talking about the things they have did, like chemical warfare, we can't fathom what they would do. But when you look at the Indians getting served with them chicken pox blankets, right?
So, yeah.
Well, why ain't nobody talked about build the immune system up?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't hear that, it's just go get the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have it from both sides. I don't just want to have it from the people that's for it.
Absolutely.
I want to hear it from the other side because
Absolutely.
it's different stories of people who have took the shot who have died.
Yes, sir.
So why we not doing the research and studying? Just like you said, they had a plan where they killed over 100 million people back in that. What makes you think they wouldn't do it again?
Oh, yes. And I do believe that that's their, I think that's the motive to begin with. And I think that's part of fear. And when you think about reducing the population of the planet, I'm not so much of I don't believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, but I do believe in the evilness of mankind. And all those are possibilities. Everything you just said, I love what you said about building an immune system. But even when you say, I want to work on building my immune system, I live in a food desert. And when you think about many of us, we have lost so much of our ancestral gifts as far as feeding ourselves from the ground, that we will go to the corner store and feed our children, man. So again, when you think about us as a people and what we are tremendously doing to ourselves without the help of white supremacy, really, they send back laughing. Because from the music, from the video, from the imagery, and like you say, that commercial, appalling. You know, and then like you say, we gotta start calling these people. You cannot say that this is just art and being artistic.
It's not.
Because Little Baby and Lil Nas X and those people, I hate, like the sister said about burning down the gas station. They need one in the head, man. Real talk. Lil Nas X is unacceptable.
Oh my gosh.
Unacceptable.
Very much so.
But they are promoting it like a rock star. I mean, they are promoting, that's the wickedness, man.
And those things would happen if we would allow it. So
Yes.
we only get what we allow.
Come on.
We only get what we allow.
Come on.
So if we're gonna allow it, they're gonna keep giving it to us. We only get what we allow.
That's
so if
it.
we're gonna continue to allow it, we're gonna continue to get it. We only get what we allow.
That's a drop.
Yeah.
That's a drop the mic. What she just said, you get what you allow. And again, everybody else going about their business laughing because you entertainment for them. We are entertainment for other people.
Absolutely. And why do we want to just be tolerated? Because at this point, that's all we're doing. We're just being tolerated, right?
So as we continue on, Oregon just passed the ordinance, 4-3. They will not allow Black Lives Matter T-shirts, signs, flags, Black Lives Matter, Pride, or LGBTQ+. That's a whole lot of work.
Man,
But they're saying,
I just call them the
No.
alphabet community.
oh, okay, the alphabet community.
That's my personal thing, because it's a lot of letters. I'm just saying,
And I don't
no
know-
disrespect. It's just the alphabet community.
And I'm still lost trying to figure out, how does the alphabet community have more power than Black and brown people?
Man, listen.
I mean, even President Barack Obama
They
made
are
sure.
so afraid
that the
of
alphabet-
stepping on the alphabet
Come on.
community. Listen here,
You better apologize, Kevin Hart,
man.
The baby.
debate. You're gonna lose.
Damn that! Don't apologize.
Gonna lose your.
Don't apologize.
Gonna lose your.
Don't
What do you call it?
apologize.
Gonna lose your Lollapalooza and all your
So what?
concert dates.
So what?
Isn't that
Don't
so
do it.
sad?
Don't do that. Why? Stand on it. If that's how you feel, stand on it. Don't do that.
That's what she
Don't do
said.
it.
Earlier, she
Don't do
was
it.
talking about standing on what's right and
Absolutely.
willing to die. We don't want to die.
So if you really that afraid of it, because here's the thing though, some people still support you. And some people are even more supportive of you because you said that.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's even more supportive. So I can tell you right now, if he had a concert next week, I'd probably buy a ticket or two. I couldn't say that I would go, but I would, just because he stand on it. Don't apologize. Damn that.
Yep.
If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. And can't listen. Here's the thing: can't nobody argue with you about how you feel. They're your feelings. Can't nobody argue with you about that. They're yours. And if that's how you feel, stand on it. And you should not give a damn how nobody else feel, because they're your feelings. And if that's how you're going to raise your children and how you're going to raise your family, then so be it. Listen here, I don't care about anybody and what they choose to do and how they choose to do it. Just don't shove that shit down my throat.
That's good.
And we should not be shoving it down anybody else's throat. Listen, the alphabet community, do as you must, do as you will, whatever. It doesn't matter. However, you're not about to hold that shit over my head and just make me accept everything. You're not going to make me shove that down my kid's throat. You're not going to make me do any of that.
Like you said, and then like, how in the world does
How
Lil Nas X go on Sesame Street? I mean, help me with that. I mean, how that work? And then he was going into a school. And you should have saw the children just, these little bitty children was just hollering and screaming, man. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, most
Farron
of
Mitchell, thank you for tuning in. However, it is a Black Lives Matter. We are talking about Black lives, and we're talking about a whole lot of things for the community. We're talking about, this is an open discussion for topics of all things. And if you have some questions or you have something concerning Black Lives Matter, by all means, put them in the comments. But we appreciate you tuning in, and if you're tuning out, have a great day.
And again, one thing about, people that are of African descent, all conversation is dealing with Black lives, because we were the first people on the planet.
Absolutely.
So when you think about time and the calendar and most everything that we experience in the world, Black people kind of invented them, and they were we gave a lot of things away and things were stolen. So when someone says about we need to be pigeonholed, a conversation about Chopin, or Ivan Van Sertima, or if we talked about Isaac Hayes or Miles Davis, it's all part of the diaspora of being Black. So we are not in one little hole over here. So it's not just Black lives right here.
Right.
Black lives is everywhere, and it matters everywhere. Think about it. They come out with Black Lives Matter, then they come out with, before Black Lives Matter, there wasn't no Blue Lives Matter.
Right.
Or All Lives Matter.
Right.
You see how they want to push back all the way? Whenever we do anything, we have to be castrated. Like she said earlier, stand on it. Don't be castrated. Don't be lynched. Don't be scared of your dollars being cut off so you can't ride around in your Bentley and your crazy gold chain. Got on gold chain and don't realize what's happening in Africa and how they exploit our people mining that stuff. We walk around with diamonds and all this stuff on and don't realize that our people and how they've been mistreated and destroyed and killed mining this metal that doesn't have no value unless you put value on it. It don't have no real value unless what we put on it. So, but getting back to our conversation, like we said earlier, the school district, and this is part of Black Lives Matter, talking about the school district saying they do not want Black Lives flags, t-shirt. Wait a minute. They do not want Black Lives Matter or Pride or the alphabets, t-shirts, flags, or anything because they said that's political speech.
That's crazy. If you are part of Black Lives Matter, you should be able to wear your Black Lives Matter shirt. If you are part of the LGBTQ community, you should be able to wear your shirt, fly your flag, or do whatever. Are they saying that about people that are still flying the Confederate flag? You free to do whatever the hell you want to do. But I can't fly Black Lives Matter. Fuck you. I'm flying my flag. How about that?
KKK.
That's crazy.
KKK.
That's crazy. And if I was part of that community, I'd fly my rainbow flag. What? Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Goodness gracious.
I think that should be the motto. Just leave me alone. You
Let
keep
me
talking
do
about
me.
patriotism and freedom. That all boils down to just leave a person alone. Like we're saying, Black people, even us, we're saying, leave us alone on traffic stops. Stop shooting and killing them. Stop coming to our community, no knock warrants.
Absolutely.
And you're going into the wrong house.
Right.
Leave us alone. We in the store and you following us. When that white person is stealing everything, leave us alone, man. When we walk down the street in a community, and then we gotta be, you calling 10 and 20 police officers, we're walking down the street, minding our own business. But then a white person can walk down our street, we look at them, don't bother them. We scared to death of a white person in our community. When we go up in their community, they call out the National Guard, the SWAT team, and then they call out the Space Force for Trump.
Listen, but then Karen can come in our community too and call everybody on us in my own yard. I can't barbecue my own stuff.
In your own yard.
It's crazy.
Isn't that strong? So again, I want us to really, as we want to talk about membership, we are really, we are extending, Black Lives Matter Flint are extending always to encourage people to become a part of our team here. We can't do anything just by ourselves. We need more people involved in this effort to really change the hearts and minds of our community. It's got to be a collective. I know we all are suffering from the white Jesus syndrome. Always remember when a person controls your God, you're thinking of what God is in your internal being, in your fiber, they got you right. And I know that's a hard pill for many of our Black people to really accept. But the white Jesus have screwed us up. And I know some of you guys may be offended to me.
Not at all.
But
Agreed.
We have to really call a spade, as she said, like a spade. Because even at the time of this so-called writing, the so-called Jesus that many of you guys talk about, was not a Christian. He wasn't. He was a Hebrew, And the whole story of that comes from the Kemetic people. It's been plagiarized, right? They haven't really invented nothing new. They copy and steal everything. Like you said, back in the day, they were stealing back, and they're still stealing now. If you think about, as I said earlier, about the first commodity in 1711 that was sold on the Wall Street. What do y'all think that was? Can you imagine?
It was a slave.
An enslaved person. Dr. Anthony, you want to chime in? You're still writing over there.
Oh yeah,
I definitely. I didn't want to leave you out. Yes, sir.
And jotted down some things, and in regards to Oregon passing the 43, excuse me, it's sort of like cancel culture / culture condition, as you said. They're working us from both angles.
Yes.
To keep us oppressed and to keep us also, in this state of not loving ourselves, not respecting ourselves, and also at the same time being dictated and controlled on how we should think, how we should feel about ourselves, while they study, fuel, and interject, the negative gyrant of, self-inflicting wounds on ourselves,
Mm,
you know, disrespecting ourselves and disrespecting each other.
yes.
But as you and Queen was talking, I wrote down that greatness is in knowing that you're great. So that has to come by education in the hearts and minds of our people,
Mhm.
so that they will understand we have to support each other.
Right.
Mm,
Right.
You know, we have to support each other. You know, when you talk about, you know, the platform that we're all standing on right now, us as a whole, our lives are important and they matter. We have to be the ones.
mm,
And to be honest, we don't need any outside entities
mm-hmm,
or help because we spend what, $2 trillion,
mm-hmm, yes, sir.
you know, far, you know, like from an economic standpoint.
Yes, sir.
You know, when you're talking about people being fear of getting their money cut
Mm-hmm,
or getting, you know, don't want to lose their business or their image or whatever because they're being threatened. If you say this, you say that, we're gonna cancel culture you.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
And then after that, then we're gonna culture condition you. So now we got you bowing down and submitting,
Come on,
you know,
Mhm.
so,
come on.
you know, it's, but in a nutshell, we have to just do what we're supposed to do for ourselves.
Mm, that's great.
Because we have done it countless times.
Countless.
No matter how many times, you know, we've been dealing
Knocked
with
down.
water and now
Mhm.
COVID and prior to that, the ships, the boats coming over here, what we went through, all of that. And here we are today,
Rising.
still rising.
Still
like
rising.
Phoenix. So, you know, you know, they tried and they're going to continue to try, but we know that now and we must continue to do what we always been doing,
Mm,
which is rise and get better, heal ourselves, love ourselves, our communities, and get back to the Black Wall Street.
Absolutely.
I love that. I think I think that's the key when you think about how, you know, I said earlier about what is the solutions, and I think we all have to be an ambassador of spreading love.
Mhm.
And the love has to be, sometimes love can be challenging, but it has to be honest. It has to be real, and then it has to be accountable. And so a lot of times, what she said earlier when we started to show off with was the disappointment of the insanity with city council.
Mhm.
You know, despite that, we must call out the truth, but then act in love,
Absolutely.
and then not accept bull. See, one thing,
Absolutely.
we got to stop accepting bull from one another. If you own some bull, I need to call you out,
Mhm.
and I'm not, and even I have to pull you to the side.
Mhm.
I'm saying, listen, you wrong.
Mhm.
I'm not supporting that.
Right.
Don't put me in there.
Right.
Are we friends, we brothers, or we could be biological brothers. But if you on a platform that's bull, I ain't with that.
Absolutely not.
And so when we start taking away from one another that bull and supporting bull, we
Mhm.
won't have the shootings in our communities.
Right.
We won't have our children that can't read. They can't do multiplications. They can't think critical. They're not around here trying to stick somebody up because
Mhm.
they are reinventing themselves, cutting grass. They are going to the neighbors, man, I'll do anything for a few dollars, as
Absolutely.
opposed to coming in and robbing you. Our old people don't have to be afraid of the young people. That's wrong, y'all. This is screwed up where older people are afraid of the youth. Y'all, that's poison. We got to change that. And how you do it is a tremendous act of love, even in the face of insanity. Dr. King found that out.
Mhm.
He found it out, man, being in that Birmingham jail, man. He said all them people were Christians and white Jesus, and white Jesus didn't save him.
Mhm.
He didn't fly down there and get him. White Jesus abandoned him, man.
I'm saying
But a
people
lot
that
of-
prayed to white Jesus was the same ones that killed him.
Sure.
Same one. Tell me about it, brother.
But a lot of this stuff can start at home, right?
Yes,
You know, we don't
it
need
has to.
we don't need to make sure that somebody else gives us a platform or gives our kids a way out, because we can do that ourselves. We all have some type of talent or something that we can do that we can pass down to our kids. We just don't spend the time with them because we want somebody else to do work for us.
And a perfect example, you're dealing with your child or anybody's child. Don't holler at them. Don't belittle them. Again, 4 or 5 years old. get down on their level and talk to them. If they doing something wrong in or out of the store, that's how you show love. And again, we have to constrain ourselves because a lot of times we want to deal with children like they're adults.
We can correct people, we can correct children without doing all of that.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
can.
I think it's appalling how sometimes I've seen young ladies and I pointed it out. But you ain't my man. You can't say nothing to my child. I say, sister, I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but I am your brother in love, and this is unacceptable.
Can I address something real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Fair. I don't know if you came in like on the tail end of it or whatever. I'm not bashing the LGBTQ plus community at all. What I said was, is it the baby feels how he feels. And I said, don't take that shit back, stand on it, is what I said. I said what I said. I am not bashing the LGBTQ plus community. My brother is a member of that community. And I love my brother with everything in me. I will whoop everybody. Kill a rock, drown a fish, kill a brick and a stick over my brother. I don't care what he chooses to do. That's his preference. It's your preference and everybody else's preference. That doesn't matter to me. That's not gonna make me not love on you, period. It's not ever gonna make me not love on you or whomever else. What I'm saying is the same thing that I'm saying for the council people and everybody else. If that's how you feel, stand on it. I'm not bashing anybody for that. I'm bashing city council, yeah. I'm bashing the people that are gassing and all of that, yes, I am.
That's right.
And I'm standing on that. And who gonna stop me? Come do it. Come talk to me. You got a problem with it, come talk to me. But I am no way at all, in any shape, form, or fashion, bashing the LGBTQ plus community. I am bashing some black people. Yep, I am. But I can love on them people still the same. I can say how I feel, right? Because you can't argue with me about how I feel. But these people are not doing the things that they're supposed to be doing for our city, right? That just happened to be a topic that came up and we discussed it, right? But I'm not bashing them by any means at all. So Farron, if you felt like I was bashing them, I just need you to go back and rewatch it because I'm not. And I'm not going to apologize for what I said because I said what I said and I meant what I said. And I'll stand on that forever and ever and ever.
Supposed to.
I'm not bashing it. You feel away. See, here's the thing. Now, here we finna get to the meat right here. So you probably finna be mad at me when I say this. But y'all sensitive as shit. We can't say nothing. Like we can't say if they feel how they feel, let them stand on it. And y'all mad. We can't say we black and we proud without white people being mad. Hell yeah, we mad.
Yeah.
So we sensitive about it too, right? And you have a right to be sensitive about that. But don't sit up here and talk about I'm bashing. I ain't bashing shit. I'm bashing who I'm bashing, and I can call them out. I said Tanya Rising. Tanya Rising want to come see me? Come see me.
That's right.
I will say it to her. We can hash it back out right here. I'm just saying what I'm saying, love. I'm not bashing that community.
And the only reason, and again, to really make it kind of clear, a lot of that is just distraction, y'all. When you really get down to a person's feeling being hurt from the alphabet community, what work are you putting in with Black Lives Matter, or what work are you putting in to uplift or move our community collectively as a whole? You can't just sit there and say you're part of the LGBTQ plus community and stand on that and not engage in helping to build Black ownership, to help educate our young people, to be about love and the prosperity of our community collectively as a whole. You guys are just not an entity unto yourself. You're part of a collective. And
Absolutely.
We need you guys at home with us to move the agenda about humanity. See, under this alphabet, it's about humanity. First is humanity. And yes, you may have a different preference, but your preference don't rise above humanity. So let's keep it clear and let's keep it real. We need y'all to be on the team and not taking no L's and not taking no S, being sensitive. The sensitivity we all should have is what's going on every day in our community. We own nothing. We produce nothing. We make nothing. We have nothing. And it's time out for that. We've been here for 500 years. It's unacceptable for the condition that we're in today. You should not be struggling. We should not be, our children should not be dying in the street. In Flint, Michigan, they have nothing to do. And you blame it on the children for getting in trouble. They have nothing to do. No community center. Burton is nothing. Burton don't have air conditioning. You got people in a building that's suffocating. And y'all think that's okay? That's unacceptable, man.
It is unacceptable. And on that, and piggybacking on what he's saying, being black is bigger than being gay.
Come on. Holla.
Period.
Because
if I was gay, being black would be bigger than that.
Dropping the mic.
Because they can't just look at me and say that I'm gay, but they can look at me and say that I'm black. And to answer your question, I have been called a nigga by white people.
What she really mad at is you, Brother Robert, when you said that, was it Lil Nas X should have been shot in the head?
I stand on it.
Now that might answer your question.
Me. You know, come see me.
That's what she mad about.
We said what we said.
Yeah. You know, I have people in my family that are gay.
Right.
And again, love them. But Lil Nas X, what he did on that video, and then on the BET, no.
But here,
unacceptable.
But here, even more than that. So we upset. Okay, so we upset with you because we said shoot him in the head, right? So what if his issue is not even about him being gay? Because at the end of the day, it's probably not. You know, my issue is like, don't push any, like, you have a platform.
Yes.
That is very widespread. You know, like all these kids ended up loving you for he was riding a horse,
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever the hell that song was. These kids love that song.
Right.
All this stuff. And you know, I was whatever. It didn't even matter to me. Found out it was. I didn't care. I thought the tune was pretty catchy. It didn't bother me.
Just like shark, baby, shark. It was catchy.
But what happened for me with Lil Nas X is when all of the you just throwing all this the satanic things or whatever, and all this other stuff, and I'm like, whoa, that's a bit much for kids that enjoy watching him, right? So listen, I didn't say cancel him or do all of that. I'm saying, I didn't say this on this particular show, but I'm saying right now, you have a bigger platform and you're black and you have other work that you need to be doing. That shit right there, trash. Pure trash. And you need to be doing better work. I think all of the celebrities need to be doing better work.
The big question is, how did his performance help the black community?
It didn't. And that's my point. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because he's gay or anything else. I just think that his platform is bigger than that, and he should be acting accordingly, and he should be acting better than that. But if that's how he feels and that's what he want to do, then stand on it. I ain't mad at him. Stand on it. I just don't support it, and I didn't say that, but I'm saying it right now. And he can come see me too. Fuck, I ain't scared of him either.
And y'all can bet. Wait when he get caught up and see what they do to him. You know, think about it. You know, he's gonna be in a shower with some young men. They would not let Korean people they would not put that or make a video with Jewish people, with Korean people, with any other ethnic group would not allow their culture to put on a video of that nature. At that shower scene was unacceptable. And even I'm a guy, they wouldn't allow women to be on there butt naked. They wouldn't allow that. And to be blurred out like that. They wouldn't allow that, guys.
They had a whole ass fit about Janet Jackson showing her damn nipple. And now we going through this. Come on.
So bottom line, to nip this in the bud, because we're not going to waste no time. Either you're going to be part of the team, because you cannot say the alphabet community is not above humanity. We are brothers and sisters, and we need to be allies. The distraction, they want us to be at each other's throat. That dilutes our power. Mm-hmm. So we got to respect the community. We all are being oppressed. So we're going to oppress each other. We're going to be mad about me saying, shoot him in the head. And I meant that somewhat metaphorically, because again, even though he is misguided and he has no conscience, his behavior, he's acting unconscious. Mm-hmm. He has no foundation. He has no substance. Because his artistry is not of substance. And so he's being pushed and being manipulated behind the scene by some real evil stuff, guys. And that's being done intentionally. Because when you think about it, Curtis Mayfield, man, or the OJs,
Mhm.
they was like, ship ahoy, ship ahoy, ship ahoy.
Mhm.
Y'all think about the words of that song. Curtis Mayfield was We People Who Are Darker Than Blue.
Mhm.
Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
Mhm.
So when you think about empowerment music, man, that's gonna lift you up, that's gonna spark you. Prince talking about gold and understanding the power of your internal power and making that something that even in the face of insanity,
Right.
you getting up every day shaking it off and you going straight forward. You fall down like Andy said, Brother Anthony said, we fall down and we get back up.
Mhm.
And we've been falling down a lot in our lives and we get back up. We supposed to be extinct right now, but we get back up.
Right.
That's the greatness of black and brown people. And our women are tired. And one thing our black men got to do, we got some work that we got to do. We got to stand up because our women are tired. They've been carrying us for 500 years. And it's time up for us to take our rightful place and be leaders in our community and in our home. And if you're not going to be a leader, don't be faking. Step down. Don't be running for city council. Don't be running for mayorship. Don't be running for lieutenant governor. Don't be running for the Senate or the Congress. If you don't have nothing that you want to help to build the people, then we don't need you. We don't need no more Clarence Thomas. We got Ben Carson. We got Alan West. We got our Sewell. We got enough of these, Becky with the good hair.
Yeah.
We don't need you guys.
We don't need no fake. We don't need the fake right here. We don't
At
need it.
all.
I'm not even talking about on a bigger scale. I'm talking about right here. We don't need the fake right here because I don't need you to be upset and upset behind closed doors and y'all talk. Matter of fact, let's talk about that. I don't need
Before you go there, y'all get upset about us talking about the LGBTWW community. But don't concern yourself. Nothing was going on with city council or downtown, or we don't own nothing in this city. But y'all mad.
No clean water.
Or the water. But you mad
that.
about a Nas X that don't care a penny about you. Go ahead, sir.
I just feel like, I had spoke on this a little bit, and it wasn't to the camera or to anybody, but I'm gonna do it right now. So I just feel like this. I don't like all the fake play and this and that, and like I love my people, and I stand behind all of them, and that's my man, 100 grand, and I'm gonna always have his back, and everybody else that's right here with me in my little tight circle, right? So I don't like the fake. I hate the fake. I hate the smiling in your face and talk behind your back. I hate the, I don't want to talk about this person, but then when I'm not, I'm gonna be a keyboard gangster. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like the talk about where is Black Lives Matter, and really you're not saying where is Black Lives Matter, you're saying where is the wine. And I feel like if that's what you mean and that's how you feel, then you call that out and let him address that. Don't talk that shit behind his back. Talk to him. Say it to him. Don't be fake. Because when I hear it, I'm going to address it. I'm like, hey, hold it. Because that's my man, 100 grand, right? And I'm going to always be down. He rock, I'm a roll. He roll, I'm a rock. It's just like that. But we can't be fake about it. We can't be fake about it. Don't say where is Black Lives Matter and you really mean where is the wine. Say where's the wine or call the wine. Everybody listen, I know this for a fact. Everybody on earth got this man's number. For real. They do. And if you don't have it, somebody you don't got it, it can give it to you.
I ain't got it.
But just don't be fake about it. All I'm saying is we're trying, right? We only so many people. We are trying, and we're out here and we're doing it. We can't be everywhere at one time. We can't. So, and if you feel like that, join us. Be a part of us.
Be a part.
Don't talk that shit. Come be about that shit, and don't be talking that shit crazy about us. And then when you see us, it's hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Give me how you been and all that. Don't do that, cause I'm gonna say something. I'm the one. They take the high road. I'm just on the road, right? I'm just on the road and I flow how I flow. They gonna take the high road. They might deflect it a little bit, but I'll be like, get off me. Or I might be like, so you what? Can we discuss what you had said the other day, and then you want to go rocking around little corners and stuff like that. Just don't do that. And I feel like that with city council too. Don't do that. Y'all got a problem with Rich Jones, go to Rich Jones. Don't get to talking that idiot shit on your page.
Right.
Go talk to him.
Right.
Say something to him. And if you feel like it because he's passionate about his shit and he want to help and he's trying. He may not articulate it as greatly as everybody else does, but he's trying. And if you feel like that, why don't you help him? Don't talk about him. Help him.
Help him. You know, Fred.
Lend your hand. If you gonna talk about him or you gonna stand over the top of him, help him up. Don't push him back down.
And that's a fantastic point in what you just said. Frederick Douglass was illiterate at one time, but he was self-taught. And again, when you think about us as a people, we supposed to be not diminishing each other. We're supposed to be helping each other. Brother Anthony,
Yes,
before we close out, I'd like for you to say a few words before we close out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Robinson. I'm just, again, I'm taking notes and I'm getting ideas, and energy is big to me. So I'm writing down some things as far as like we need to, as we're discussing right now, we must do it. Try, the word try, I kind of tell myself, I take it out of vocabulary.
Yeah.
Because when we don't want to try to do anything,
That's
we
right.
must do it.
Must do
I
it.
get it. Yeah.
We must do it. So,
You don't, in that point, you don't try to use the bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
No, you don't try to boo. You boo.
You do.
You urinate.
Mhm.
You don't be sitting around, I'm gonna try to
Right.
urinate.
No.
So that's the point. Take that out.
Yeah.
Either gonna do it or you don't.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's pretty much
Well, we doing what we can, right? We're doing what we can. Now we gonna try, we're gonna take that out. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah.
We doing what we can, but we can't be everywhere at once.
And so we definitely want to make sure that, in closing, we still, it's got our hands out and our hearts out, for our community to be a part to make this energy bigger. We need
All of the community.
We
We
need
love all
all
y'all.
We need all y'all on board. And again, remember, we do a first and a third Saturday of community conversation. That too is about action, not just sitting around talking. Also, we're engaging, and again, there are several things that we have in our wheelhouse that we're working on. We need people on board dealing with finances and in a lot of different areas that our community need educated. We need areas of people with expertise where we can start building, some inside of Black Lives Matter, Flint.
Mhm.
We want to be an incubator where we are dealing and building young politicians where they're going to be people that are committed to the community and not faking. And we can have these young people that can develop a heart for their city, for themselves first, before community, and learn about political science and learn about how to play the game, because it's a game. And so we must learn how to play the game, because there's some rules to this game called America.
Right.
And all we got to perfect that game.
We gotta play chess, not checkers.
Chestnut.
Yes, sir.
Just worry about it.
Man,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
we do.
And so in closing, I definitely want to say thank you guys, and my sister, my brother, y'all can close out.
Listen, I said what I said. Peace, love, and light. I love all y'all. I do. And I stand on everything I said. I'm open to have conversations with everybody, including more than anybody, the council members and all of that. Let's have an open forum. Let's talk about it. Let's get some of this stuff out on the table. Let's see what we can do. But let's be unified in doing it, because that's the problem right there. We have no unity. We need to be unified in doing it, because we should be thinking about this as a whole together. We should all be on the same page. But as opposed to not being on the same page, we're not even in the same book. Some of us ain't even in the library. We got to do better. And we need to be unified, and we need to be unified, and we need to come together, and we need to do the things that we need to do to make sure that we get all of these things situated and we get the city back to where it needs to be. We have a blight problem. We have a crime problem. We have a schooling problem. We just got a problem. And we need to come together and figure it out. And not only do we figure it out, but we need to put action behind those words, because that's what it is. We need the action. Love is an action word. And if we're going to love on people, we need to love it in action. And we need to bring all of these things to the table. We need to not only just bring it and build it, but we need to do it. We just need to do it. period. And I don't feel like we need a mock foundation and anything else to do it, because if we come together, we have come together and done a lot of things by ourselves without any outside entities doing anything. But we are stronger together.
Yes, and when you say that, we have perfected pretty well destroying each other. So with that, Wakanda out.
Peace, love,
We
life.
out.
Like